talk now about another type of queries, which are non-selection queries. These kind of queries are not queries which aim at extracting data, but are queries which aim at doing some operation to the database. So much more dangerous queries because they're able to modify your database, in particular the delete and update queries. Usually, whenever you want to build one of these queries, it's a better idea to build first a selection query, see what you're selecting, and then convert it to the appropriate type. Let's see some examples. Okay, first of all, build a query which selects categories, suppliers, company name, and product's name and price, and then build table products extended using this data. So we are extracting data from categories, from suppliers, and from products. And then we are putting all the data together into a new table. So we are building a new table here. Okay. So first of all, let's extract the data. This one you can do it yourself, try. Okay, together, create. Well, I start immediately in query design. You're now experts from category, products, and suppliers. Okay, I need the category name, the supplier company name, the product name, and the unit price. That's what the thing asks us. Okay, now what do I have to do? Well, first of all, I take a look at the data. Okay, and now the task asks me to build a table. So I convert it to a make table. Don't worry, if you click, nothing happens until you click run. So I click to a make table. It asks me what is the name of the table, extended products, in the current database, obviously. Okay. And now as soon as you click run, it will be executed. Pay attention that in this case, if you continue to press to go back and forth from datasheet view, from design view to datasheet view, continue clicking run, you are creating several tables. So whenever you click, you create a table. So now you click run, you're about to paste 77 rows into a new table. Yes. Okay, the new table is here. I close the query. I call it query one, it's enough. Okay, let's look at the table. To create a table is just like the query. So this is the simplest, most version. It's almost useless because the table that we created is exactly like the query. Its only advantage is that now the table is static, so in case you modify your original data, the query one will be modified, but the table remains the same. So it's not exactly like the query. Currently, it's exactly like the query, but if you modify some data, the query will be modified, but extended product will remain as it is. So it's a picture, a snapshot of the current situation of some tables. Okay, let's go to more interesting ones. The append. Append is very similar to make table. Its only difference is that instead of creating a new table, the fields that you create are appended to an existing table. Obviously, the existing table fields must be identical to the appending table. Okay, so the fields that you get in your append query must be identical to the field of the table to which you want to append them. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Let's see a brief example. Build a query which extracts suppliers from Germany, fields company name and phone, so only these two fields, and appends the three resulting records to table shippers. Okay, because table shippers contains company name and phone, so we can append them correctly. Let's see. Create, well, in design view from, I said customer or supplier? Suppliers. So company name, phone, and also country, but country will not be displayed. It's useful only for the criteria Germany. Let me iconize it. Okay, Germany. Okay, let's see first of all the result. Okay, now we make an append query to table shippers, shippers. I click OK. Now I run, cross the fingers. You're about to append 3 rows. Pay very, I will answer no. I will check that shippers really has those fields, company name and phone. The ID is auto number, so it will be created automatically. Because if you make mistake, a chaos will happen. Now I go back to the design view, click run. Now I append, yes, done. Obviously, again, if you click run continuously, you're going to reappend the fields again. Yes, I saved it. Query. Let's see now shippers. Shippers, you can see, has also 3 companies which are not shippers at all. Okay. Let's go on. Update. Well, update query, you can guess what does it do, and it starts to be rather dangerous. Okay, because I remind you, you cannot undo the thing. If you produce a table, who cares? You can delete it. If you append records, who cares? You can delete them. But if you update records, the old values are lost. Let's see. Build a query which increments all product prices by 15%. So, create. Let's do it in design. Products. I put product ID, a unit price. I put product ID only because I want to identify the product. I think that probably it will work also without, so with only unit price. But just to be sure, so in this way the query will clearly identify which product is which, I put product ID. Now I click on, first of all, you can look what the result is, but it's pretty useless. Update. When you click update, you get update to unit price by 1.15. Okay. I think that this is really useless, but let's put it so products are identified and we don't make confusion. No criteria. If you want, you can put a criteria and update only some products, but we'll update all of them. We cannot select, go back to select, we will lose the update too, so we just need to run and hope. You're going to update 77 rows, yes. Let's see the result. Don't click again, otherwise you will re-increment of other 15%. Okay, unit prices are not even anymore, so I hope they've been updated. Okay, I save it as query 3. Build a query which, deletion queries. So update query. Pay attention in particular when you build an update query which involves more than one table. Okay, so if it involves several tables, usually you want to update only the fields in one table, but you need the fields from other table because you want to select only some fields. For example, update by 50% the products whose supplier are in Germany. So I need, where is my update? It's query 3. Okay. I need also the suppliers, country, Germany. Okay. This will update by 15% the product whose supplier in Germany. In these cases, pay attention. Don't write anything here, otherwise you're going to change the count of some suppliers. So pay attention to what you're doing exactly. Okay, no, I don't save. And let's switch to delete query. Delete query are designed to delete records selectively. Here, let's say a criteria is mandatory. If you don't put any criteria, you're going to delete all the records which appear. In that case, it's rather easy. You delete all the records and that's all. Can you see choose wisely where or from? It deletes all the records involved in from. Let's see how to do it. Build a query which deletes shippers whose phone starts with parenthesis 0. First of all, let's look at shippers table. Okay. I would like to delete basically these 3 shippers automatically. Okay. So create query design, from shippers, phone, criteria, like, open quotation, parenthesis, 0, asterisk, close quotation. Okay? Before even thinking at switching to a delete query, I check what is the result. Okay, the tree that I want to delete. Now, how can I tell him delete? Well, first of all, you want to tell you have to drag the asterisk here. Okay, then you switch to delete. And now, where you have the asterisk, you will get the from. And where you don't have the asterisk, you will get where. Asterisk means all the fields. So you are practically deleting all the fields. So delete from all the fields means delete all the fields. Where the criteria is this one. Okay, so pay attention, you delete things with the asterisk and the from. If you don't have the asterisk, so if you just drag shipper ID, you cannot select from. Look, I select from, I click, and nothing happens. So in order to delete, you must drag the asterisk and from must be active. Okay, now I cross my finger, I press run. You're about to delete 3 rows. Okay, done. Okay. Yes, save the query for. Build a query which deletes all order details for orders handled by Nancy Davoglio and then alter orders handled by Nancy Davoglio, obviously. So I want to completely remove from my history what Nancy Davoglio has done. Not something wise to do if you're running a real database, but create query design, employees, orders, order details. So first the order details and then the orders. Why do I have to delete first the order details and then the orders? Well, because order details is related to orders via many to one. If you delete orders without deleting order details, you are breaking the referential integrity. Okay, so first the things from the inside table, then the things from orders. So in any case, last name and first name is Nancy Davoglio. No, sorry, only last name is necessary. Criteria Davoglio. Okay. And then I need to delete all the details. So I drag the asterisk. Okay. First of all, I take a look. These are the details of the orders handled by Nancy Davoglio. I choose delete from where seems okay. Okay, table orders is present, but nothing has been selected now. Let's see whether it works. Run. You're about to delete 345 rows. Yes. Done. Okay. Now I remove it. I don't need this anymore. I delete orders. Okay. Run. Yes. Done. Sometimes this thing doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it may be because you are breaking the referential integrity. It means you are breaking things from the external tables, but have a relation to internal tables. Remember, if you want to delete, first delete things from internal tables, so on the many side, and then on the one side. Once you're sure that there is nothing on the many side. Second thing, it may not work for a very strange technical reason. Go here, so on the field where you have the asterisk, click on property sheet, unique records. If it is set to no, sometimes it doesn't work. So if it still doesn't work, set it to yes and then let it work. Okay, don't ask me why it is a strange thing, but okay, so property sheet, unique record, yes. Let's see whether we have, oh, okay, no. And this was everything for non-selection queries. Let's go to another type of selection queries here, don't worry. Oh, you can mix both, but let's do selection queries. All the queries that we've done until now had some relation sometimes. So most of what the queries have done until now had some relation. The relation was called an inner join because you take values from both tables if they satisfy the relation, so if they are involved in the relation. The values which are not involved in the relation remember that one of the side is a many side. It means that for each record on the other side, there can be many, one, or no record on this side. So there may be some records which are not involved in the relation and they are not displayed. Let's explain it slightly better. I need the schema. Okay. For example, look here. Suppose you have a supplier who does not supply any product. It's possible because for each supplier you have many products, meaning that there can be many, one or zero. It is, on the other hand, not possible that you have a product without supplier because the relation here is one. But it's possible that you have a supplier without a product. If you ask for supplier company name and product name, you will never see the suppliers without products. How to see them? In order to see them, you need to make a left join. A left join is a query with this relation which displays values from the left table even when they don't have a correspondence to the right table. Let's do it practically. So I close query 5, save the changes. Yes, query 5. Create. First of all, before doing it, we need to add some suppliers without. So I add supplier blah 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 and supplier blue blue blue. This supplier don't have products, obviously. So I added 2 suppliers without products. Now, create query design, suppliers, products. The relation is an inner join, so a standard thing. I ask this, I sort by company name. And in fact, you don't see neither blah 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 nor blue 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 because they are suppliers without product name. So they are suppliers, but they don't have a correspondence here. Okay. If you double click on this relation, you have some other option. You have option 2, include all the records from supplier and only those records from products where the join fields are equal. This is a left join. It means that from suppliers you have all the records. Okay. And from here you have only the records which are involved in the relation. If you want to do the vice versa, you choose number 3, which is the right join. I press OK. Can you see that the arrow is a little different? Okay. Now I run. And in fact, now you see also blah 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 and blue blue blue. On the other side, there is nothing here as product name because they don't have any product. So we say it's null. Okay. Clearly, choosing option 3 is totally meaningless because it's impossible that there is a product which does not have any suppliers since the relation is one to many. Option 3 is useful only if you are building a database without referential integrity. So a database in which there can be orphan records, for example, products without suppliers. In this case, option 3 is useful to check, to find out the orphan records. But if you're building a strict and good database with referential integrity, option 3 is useless. So let's stick to option 2. Okay. Now I ask you another thing. I would like to get a list of suppliers, including okay, we have just done it. No. Get a list of suppliers without product. This is what I want to do. So I want to get a list not of all the suppliers with their products, but only the suppliers who do not have a product, so the extra ones, the ones I would like to get basically blah 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 and blue blue blue. Well, using a little trick, which is explained here, we can do it. How? Well, simply, we have seen that these suppliers are the ones which don't have anything here, so I just write as criteria here is null. I don't display it, and you will see that only blah 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 and blue 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 will appear. So a typical trick to find out things in a table with on the one side who don't have a matching on the many side, which is possible. It's not possible to vice versa, but this one is possible. It's doing a left join and select is null on the field on the right table. Very easy. and now very difficult, delete these suppliers. I am asking you to automatically delete these suppliers using a deletion query. So we have to click delete, okay, check that everything is okay. No, I have to drag the asterisk here. This one is not necessary anymore. So we'll delete from suppliers where the field product name is null. Okay, cross the fingers, run. Oops, could not delete from specified table. Ah, the problem. So I need property sheet, unique records. Yes, the small technical problem. Let's hope it works. You're about to delete 2 rows. Yes, done. I saved the query 6. Let's check that it's really deleted from suppliers. I don't have blah 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 and blue blue blue. Fine. Okay, so you can see how you can match a left join with the deletion queries if you want with the summary queries and complicate things a lot. Finally, the database documentation. If you have to build a database and I ask for the documentation, let's explain what it is. The documentation is a document, so a Word file basically, or a PDF if you prefer, which describes the database. If you give to a person who has never seen it, a database like this one, the person will have to go to the database tool, check the relationship, study all the fields, study what does it mean each table. It's very complicated. I have done it for work several times, so studying a database without any documentation or with badly written documentation, and it's a nightmare, especially if the database is very big. Okay, you can never come out. Documentation is useful to explain to somebody else who has never seen your database, and I underline the word never, who is competent with databases but has never seen your database and no idea what it's about, explain what the database is about. So, first of all, obviously you must have a verbose description of the database, so a verbal description. You must describe it with words, with English words, English sentences, and the schema. The schema is the main thing, obviously. Okay. In case your database is extremely complicated, you may think at splitting the schema or omitting some relation or omitting some fields which are secondary. In this case, obviously, below the schema, write clearly that some things are omitted. Okay. After the verbose description, you need to describe your tables one by one. So for each table, maybe the table is self-explanatory. If it is not, a short description. All the fields of the table should be listed, all the fields this time, together with the field, the type, okay, short text, long text, number, currency, date, time, okay, all the options required, indexed, validation rules which are applied to the field, and comments on the field. Many times the fields are self-explanatory, but not always. Sometimes the field is mysterious or can be ambiguous. Okay. Okay, this should be rather long. Then the table validation rule, some table properties, and finally the form and the reports that you have built. Also, this one should be described. Not the technical details, but what does the report displays, how it is grouped, how it is sorted. Also, the form, is the form locked or not? Okay, which field does it display? Okay. In particular, what is it supposed to do? Okay, you have in my little book an example. Let's see if I can find it. Attend. There is an example for my farm database. Okay, documentation. Here there is the little, it's a small database as you can see, so a little description, the schema, the table one by one with the type and some features. Okay, sometimes there is a comment to the table, you can see. Then a comment to the only form I've made, and a comment to the only the queries that I build and the report that I build. So also queries need to be commented. So queries. Okay. Okay. access as a database documenter automatically. It can be used, but I don't want to see it. Let's use immediately why. Let's activate it. Database tools, database documenter. Okay. If you just select everything, select all, and maybe all the queries, all the forms, it will be really overcrowded with information. In particular, queries, forms, and reports, according to my opinion, are completely useless. Okay. The only thing which is useful for are tables, but I strongly suggest you to go to options, okay, choose for each table the relationship, avoid the properties, otherwise it will display an extremely long list of properties. For the fields, I suggest only name, data type, and size. Properties could be interesting, but it's an extremely long and boring list of properties. For indexes, nothing, okay? Yoo-hoo. As usual, my access is stuck. Okay. You press OK, and it will produce as a report. You can export it to Word in this way. Let's take a look at it. Okay. You can see it absolutely needs these table categories, for example. As usual, my access is stuck. What is it doing? Okay, so you get the fields, the type, the size, okay, and the relationship with which the table is involved. This is not necessary if you provide a schema. Okay. Other field, other, this is table customers, etc. Clearly needs to be integrated. Okay. I suggest you don't put 300,000 pages of properties, of technical properties. In particular, you will have to describe form, queries, and reports by yourself, because Access is totally unable to describe them in a strict way. Access uses 300,000 words to describe all the properties and becomes very boring and unreadable. So it needs to be removed the properties and needs to be heavily integrated. Okay. Will I stop the